You motherfuckers keep talking about don't make this about race. But if the roles were reversed and it was 3 black boys, 1 white boy, that white boy didn't make it home, them 3 black boys did, them motherfuckers would have been prime suspect number 1. And on top of that, lawyer up, make their accounts private, and not cooperate with the police, y'all will want them motherfuckers underneath the jail cell. But since some people can't understand because it's coming from us, maybe you'll understand it if it's coming from one of your people.
That young black man who got on a boat with what he thought were 3 white friends and didn't return home, that's us. That's us pretending to be a safe space. And then when it's just convenient, that person doesn't matter to us. We don't care that we didn't come home with them. We don't know where they were. That's why, okay? That's why. And until you can see that.
Just imagine if he decided not to go out on that boat to go celebrate the 4th of July. He would still be alive. Now, I'm not gonna say they did it, but they are prime suspect number 1 because they was the last people to see him. They left with him, but didn't return with them. Count me out.
Nolan Wells wasn't killed by his friends. And this investigation just started. I mean, his body was found just yesterday. Give the investigation some time before we start hearing these crazy-ass stories. And the amount of people that are saying that he was killed because he was the token black guy in his friend group is fucking insane.
Yeah, we're not doing that shit. What you make it out to be is like some innocent, well, it's not the friends, don't get after the friends. No, what you're doing is you're victim blaming. You're putting this at the feet of Nolan Wells. Like he is somehow at fault for what happened to him. The fact that he is dead is on Nolan Wells and nobody else because it can't be his friends. Where's the human sympathy in this? Where's the address of Nolan Wells, the person, and saying, I'm sorry for the loss, for the family's loss, who lost a son, for Nolan Wells, who lost his future. You're going to come on here and immediately take up the side of something you know nothing about? You say we know nothing about it. You know nothing about it either. So don't come on here and put this at the feet of Nolan Wells. The young man is dead. Somebody is responsible. And people need to figure it the fuck out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Guys, up till now, they've not found the victims, the people that unalived that boy. Welch was a very promising young guy, like a very, very promising young guy with a lot of talent, but his life was cut short. He went out with 3 of his friends to Mississippi on a boat cruise. Then this guy did not come back. He was the only black guy among the 3 guys. He was the 4th person and he was the black guy. But they are not seeing anything in this case. Is it because he's a black guy? Guys, you people should go show your children. Talk to your black children. Let them know who they are going out with. If you're coming across my page for the very first time, please do it to like, share, and I beg in the name of God, subscribe for me. Guys, Craig of the rest for others of the clips and stitches I've added to this particular video. Up till date, no result is out. Guys, I'll roll out more clips to this video, then I'll come back with commentaries. Please stay tuned.
I need all white people to lock in and listen to this. It is your job. If you are raising children, if you're a parent, caregiver, in any form, uncle, auntie, whatever, grandparent, it is your job to make sure that your white children protect their black and brown friends. You hear me? They need to protect any of their friends that are not white. There's absolutely no excuse for going out to an island with your friends and one of them not come back, and that one happens to be a black boy. You need to not only teach your children to be anti-racist, but you need to teach them, no matter who they're with, that when they go somewhere together, they come home together. And you don't leave until they're with you. If you can't find them, you need to contact authorities immediately. There's absolutely no excuse. There's a reason that specifically black people teach their children not to be the only black friend in their friend groups. Because of stuff like this. Because this happens time and time again. When are you going to learn to teach your children? It's your responsibility, not theirs. They shouldn't have to continue in 2026 to teach their children how to survive friendship. Nolan Wells should be alive. There is no reason for this other than what the obvious is. These kids are saying that they don't remember, they don't know what happened, that he went off with some girl or whatever. Bullshit. They know what happened. They had his phone. Do better. This can't keep happening. And to Nolan's parents, my heart is broken for you, and I am so sorry for your loss. I pray for justice and for your strength.
I tell him we love him and we know he's with God and that we will not forget him or the joy that he's brought to us.
Was there ever a moment that you thought that if something went down, if your son needed these friends, that the loyalty would be questionable because he was the only black person in this circle that he was in this day?
This is the thing. Regardless of the color of anyone's skin, your hope is that the people your children call friends will be there. Like, that is any parent's hope, right?
What do you make of the explanation that it was because of a pump malfunction that they left?
I would not leave anyone else's child on an island. I would not leave anyone else's child stranded. You can give all the excuses you want, but you do not leave someone else's child anywhere.
You started to talk about Nolan and you said was, and then you corrected yourself and said is.
Yes.
Tell me why.
Still early in grief, right? So we're kind of back and forth. Before we came here, it was our youngest looks just like him. So just calling him Nolan and just still feeling his presence. So he may not physically be here, but he's still here with us. I would not be able to sleep at night. I mean, I can't right now, definitely we can't, but I definitely would not be able to, knowing that I didn't do everything as his mother to ensure that I knew what happened to him. And that's all we're asking for, is we're asking for answers.
When we finally got his phone, me and my sister went through the phone. We went in his Snapchat. He had 2 accounts, absolutely nothing. It wasn't even 24 hours, which is how long videos and pictures stay in Snapchat. And I was just like, that can't be. Like, I've seen Nolan whenever he snaps, like when he goes and he's having fun, like he does videos, like there was absolutely nothing no saved videos. And even my sister was like, yeah, that's suspicious,
Michael,
you know.
We're having an independent autopsy done at the behest of his family. Colin Kaepernick helped pay for the independent autopsy. We flew his body up from Mississippi to D.C. because they wanted an autopsy done by a person with no interaction with the Mississippi law enforcement, because there's an issue of trust here that is really important. And the fact that they keep trying to say, well, suggesting it was a drowning, but nobody out there reported him drowning, it's not adding up, Michael Strahan. It is not adding up.
And honestly, we are doing this because at the end of the day, I would hope any parent would fight for their kids to find out if anything happened, what did happen. So we just want honesty and transparency. We want a thorough investigation. We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else, and that's it. We just want answers.
If you don't care about what happened to Nolan Xavier Wells because he doesn't look like you, would you feel differently about his friends minimizing his life if the victim looked like this, more like you? What if I told you that this is Nolan Wells's grandmother, which makes Nolan's mother half Asian and Nolan himself a quarter or an Asian person himself? And if you think that couldn't happen to me, that happened to Nolan because he's partially black, then I'm going to remind you of Nancy Ying, the 29-year-old special needs teacher from Alhambra, California, who went missing while she was on a yoga retreat on Lake Adelan, Guatemala, 3 years ago, who, just like Nolan Wells, put his trust into his white friends, thinking that they're just going out for a good time on the water. Nancy Ying also put her trust in her white friend Christina Blazik while going out on the water, thinking that they're about to have some fun. But just like Nolan Wells' white friends, who all claim that they don't know what happened to Nolan and just thought that he was on another boat, but then as soon as they got back, deleted all of their social media accounts, including Warren Hudson here, who up until 9:30 last night still had his profile up but now is gone. And allegedly, at least 2 of them immediately lawyered up upon getting home. Christina Blazik, who had told officials in Guatemala that she did not see what happened to Nancy, whether she jumped in or fell into the water, as soon as she returned to the United States, deleted her socials, lawyered up, and through her lawyer tried to claim that they were barely even friends. Which is weird because I didn't realize that people who barely knew each other put their arms around each other's necks and then held each other's hands while taking photos together. Who, once she returned home to America through her lawyer, was like, no, I tried to save her. Oh, by the way, also Christina and the whole rest of the yoga retreat decided not to even remotely help find Nancy Ying's body, and then fled the country the next day before a police investigation could even be officially started. So not only if you care about community, should you also care about what happened to Nolan Wells, because this boy was also Asian. But if you only care about things that happen to people that look exactly like you, that's the problem. Because when we're fighting the same systems of oppression that places people of color systemically second class compared to the white counterparts, it bleeds into societal standards and even into interpersonal relationships. The effect is the same for all of us. And that is that our lives are not valued, which means that our lives are not safe. Demand justice and visibility for Nolan Xavier Wells. One of these has been set up for the family. If you are able, please help them out. You can find it right here. And rest in peace, Nolan Xavier Wells.
Nolan Wells' parents actually sat down with Good Morning America today. They brought their attorney Ben Crump on, and there are some very interesting nuggets from this interview. So Christine tells us that when the friend Warren called her and told her that Nolan did not come back with them, she immediately started tracking his phone. He had Life360 on his phone. And she said that what she noticed was that Life360 was showing him back on land, but Snapchat was showing 2 completely different things. This raised a red flag to her. So they tracked the phone, and they actually went and they physically, she and her sister together went and retrieved the phone from, I'm assuming, the friend. But she made a point to say they did not return the phone. Christine had to track it. So Michael Strahan asked, okay, well, how did you guys know messages were missing then? And so she said one of the things that she did was check his Snapchat, and Nolan was very active on Snapchat. That's what the kids do these days. I don't understand how Snapchat works, but that's what they do, and they are on it all the time. And she was like, I would see him snap all the time. I knew that he was very active on it. It does delete stuff 24 hours out, but she said there should have been stuff on there from within the last 24 hours that was gone. But then anything that he would have saved, like the way that she worded it was that everything was gone. His entire account history, and she said everything was gone, which was a super major red flag to her. Ben Crump talks about the other inconsistencies between the friends and other accounts, one of them being, remember, Nolan had been talking to a girl that afternoon. From what I understand, her story checks out and has been corroborated and vetted by law enforcement. She's not under suspicion of any kind or anything like that. But she told them that Nolan had told her that he was going back with his friends on the boat that he came on. Like, that's what his plan was. But the friends told Christine that Nolan voluntarily stayed behind, and he told them that he was going to ride back with this girl. Now, according to the girl, that never happened. The other thing they said is strange is that Nolan was very careful, and it was his normal practice to not leave his group of friends. So his dad, Elmore, was talking about how that was something that we talked about all the time, where I was like, if y'all are going somewhere and you go with 5, you leave with 5. Like, you don't leave people behind. You don't leave friends behind. You don't separate. Like, you guys stay together. And he said that was Nolan's normal practice, that it would have been very unusual for him to have just been like, I'm going to just stay behind on my own. Then we have the video. Law enforcement has not officially said that this video is connected to this investigation or to Nolan Wells at all. And I did share this video 2 days ago when I posted my last update. But Ben Crump says that it is Nolan in the video and that you can hear him arguing with his friends. And what he is saying to his friends is, give me back my freaking phone, and what are you freaking doing? And then they leave on the boat without him, and he ends up dead. They're 10 miles away from home. I don't like that. Because again, the phone is one of the very weird things that, like, you know, his mom and both of his parents were like, he wouldn't have let them leave without his phone. And that was something that always stuck with me too. Like, okay, if you're just getting off the boat and swimming up to shore and hanging out on shore for a little bit, yeah, we're gonna all leave our phones on the boat. But if you are leaving me here on this island and I know I'm not going back with you, I'm gonna need my stuff. I need my phone, I need my wallet, I need whatever else I had, I'm gonna need that stuff. And they say he didn't ask for any of that. I mean, they didn't, I'm surmising, but they're like, oh no, he knew he was gonna stay and we just left, but they took his phone. They are having an independent autopsy done as well. Again, they just said, you know, we want transparency. We just want to know that, like, everything's being done correctly. Colin Kaepernick actually is funding that. So that is being done. And, you know, no charges have been filed, but I do have questions. And again, when you have people that are very well connected in a community, especially in the South, just because that's where I grew up, and, you know, there's a good old boy system and all that kind of stuff, we have seen in other cases a history where sometimes law enforcement will just accept the word of a person who is involved in an investigation without properly vetting it, just because they are known to the family. And so I understand Nolan's family wanting to just ensure that that's not something that's happening. Like, let's just make sure that we have a good explanation for all of these things that feel like red flags to us. Like, I just want to be sure that this is being done properly. Please watch the video. Christine and Elmore talk about Nolan and all the wonderful things about him. He sounded like just an absolute sweet child. And if you have any photos or videos from Horn Island on July the 4th, please send those to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office at 228-769-3065. I also think that his family would appreciate it if you got in touch with his attorney, or their attorney, Ben Crump, and sent anything that you had there too. I know that they are conducting their own independent investigation as well. And I will keep following this story and let you know when there are other updates.
Do you think race might be a factor?
Like my wife said, I don't want to believe that, but it's just it's so many things have happened, and so many things have been swept under the rug. Like I said, Nolan didn't see color. He saw people for who they are. And I used to always tell him, son, you need to go out there close, because everyone is not going to reciprocate that same love that you give. I just want transparency. I just want to know what happened to my son.
Christine, why does that make you so emotional?
Because he just had a big heart. Like, to really know Nolan, to have him as your friend was it was something special. People aren't like him. He was just different. And
do you worry that he might have trusted too much?
sometimes, yeah. And that was something we always talked to him about.
Forensic did confirm that Nolan's body wasn't waterlogged. What that means is that they did not find any water in his lungs. So it would be impossible for him to have drowned. So that speculation is out the window, which also tells us that Nolan was already unalived before he ever hit the water. Correct? Because if he was alive when his body entered the water, then there would be water in his lungs. Correct? Also, do you know that in order for them to confirm that that was Nolan's body, the mother and the father did not confirm it because they went to go see their body, and they found out it was Nolan because through his dental records. And also, Nolan's parents still have yet to see his body. They have not gotten a chance to see his body, and that makes you wonder why is that? Why is that? I'm sure they will get to see him or his body once the autopsy is done in DC through the private autopsy. But you got to think about all of those things, which now makes me believe that the reasons why they claimed that when they found Nolan's body, it was post-mortem scavenging. Basically, they're saying that fishes had fed off of his body as it laid in the water. His grandfather said that they had searched that same area at 6-something in the morning, and they had searched like that complete area, and Nolan's body was not there. However, they left to go take a break and come back, and at 8:45 is when his body was found.
We just want to know. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home.
We have the honor and the privilege of helping to lead an independent investigation on behalf of the family of Nolan Wells. Why do you say we need to be retained to lead an independent investigation? It is because the family has distrust of the Mississippi law enforcement officials giving them a fair investigation where their black son ended up dead after going out on a boat with 3 young white men. The history of Mississippi is something that they don't just read about in books, but it's a lived experience for many black Americans.
He was a special kid, but again, just heart was so big. And we're gonna miss him dearly. We just want to know. We want an honest, thorough investigation.
Guys, from the clips I've rolled out, like I don't even know what to say right now, because I'm short of words. Like, what? I'm just a white guy. I think it was among the first clip I added. The guy was a white guy, and he was saying, what if it was 3 black guys, then with 1 white boy that went out on that trip, and the white one did not come back. That case would have been a different case. They would have held the 3 black guys now. They would have held them like they would have held them as number 1 suspect. But they are coming out to tell us that the children, like they are not suspecting those 3 boys that went out with this boy. You went out on an island with your friend. You left him there. You guys went out, 4 of you. You left him there. Is it because he's a black boy? Why didn't one of you stay back for him to come back? So 3 of you left him there. Then you come back with his phone and saying you know nothing about it. Like you know absolutely nothing about it. Because you have people to defend you. What if the case was vice versa? What if this case was vice versa? What if this case was the opposite? What would have happened to that black boy by now? What would have happened to those black boys that come back without their white friend? And they are and oh God. And again, these things and the mistakes are from most parents. Teach your child how to protect their friends. How to protect their friends. Being the same color with them. Being black, being white. Anybody you are. Anyone that person is. As long as they are their friends. Teach them how to protect them. Teach them how to guide them. It's a very, very painful one. These guys grew up together. But now one of them is nowhere to be found. And they're saying nothing about it. Men are outside protesting. People are protesting. They want to know what happened to Wells. They want to know what happened to him. People are outside. They are protesting. His parents are devastated. A 14-year-old boy with a very, very bright future. A very, very bright future. Just ended up in everything just. Guys, teach your child, please. Teach your child. If they did not leave that boy at that island, that boy would have been alive up till now. But they left him. The 3 of them left him. And you're telling me they are not suspects. And they brought back his phone. And you guys are saying they are not suspects. Teach them. Please teach them. It's very, very important. If you can't teach them, you hold your child. That's why a lot of black parents don't let their children to associate with other people. Because of issues like this. Issues like this, case like this has been occurring not the first time, not the second time. This is not even the 3rd time. And every time black kids are always the victims. Like they are always the victims. They are always the victims. Black deserve to live. They deserve it. They deserve to live. Please, people should hold your kids, hold your children. Know the kind of people they work with. Know the kind of friends they keep. Please, if possible, boycott them from every other friends for now. Because this is becoming out of hand. It's going out of hand. Like it's going out of hand. And every blessed time, every time this kind of case occurred on social media, black kids are always the victims. They are always the ones that will not come back. They are always the one that would this. They are always the one. It's not good. Like a lot of white people that know that knows the truth are coming out to talk about it. They are coming out to talk about it. Most of them know that it's very, very painful to lose a 14-year-old child. A child that has a promising future. A child that like a lot of people are saying good things about that boy. A very well-behaved, well-trained boy. That boy deserves to live. He deserves to live. And I pray justice is served. And I pray the